Alright guys, today we're going to continue our look at gold making in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. We're going to take a look at alchemy. Historically one of the best gold making professions, and well, spoiler alert, it's looking pretty good in Wrath as well. With the ability to use smart stacking on the auction house, it's just fantastic. And consumables, well, they're always good because people run out of them. They drink them and then they need to buy more every week, guaranteeing that you will get to sell items consistently. So we're going to take a look at the recipes. I'll point out the ones that I think are most relevant, how you get them, what you should focus on, and of course my suggestion for specializations. Let's take a look. So as usual, the main recipe types you're looking at for alchemy, you have the potions, short-term consumables, elixirs, longer-term consumables, flasks. They are essentially just better versions of elixirs because they persist through death. So this is what people will be using for the most part. Transmutes, generally on a cooldown. Some of these transmutes are for the later phase. We will not be getting the epic gems early on. We will be having the meta gems and the titanium and stuff like that. And then you have just more potions, more elixirs, and more transmutes, essentially. That's it. Now, generally speaking, the real money is in the potions and the flasks, because people use those every day, all the time. Transmutes are a little bit more limited because they generally have a cooldown. As of 3.0, all of these transmutes should have a cooldown. Titanium did go without a cooldown eventually in patch 3.2, I believe. So that will lose the cooldown most likely, but I'm expecting we get the cooldown on the beginning. I don't have beta, so I haven't been able to test out. You can also pick a specialization. Either potions, elixirs, which also includes flasks, or transmutation. All of them give you 20% more on average. So you have you'll sometimes proc 2 extra, sometimes you can even proc 4 or 5 extra items when you craft a recipe, but it averages out to 20% more once you've done enough. Now, generally speaking, transmutation mastery is, in my opinion, terrible, because you can only do this once every day, once every 20 hours or 24 hours or whatever. Which means that the amount of gold that this 20% extra bonus is affected by is relatively limited. You might be selling hundreds of gold worth of flasks or potions on a given day, and you'll just, in my opinion, get way more economic benefit from having a bonus on either potions or flasks, which is where the vast majority of your sales in total gold is going to come for. So I would not go transmutation. Both flasks and potion can be good. I'll personally be going potions because I think that's the highest volume, but we'll see. I might change it up if it looks like flasks are more profitable, but I'm planning to start with potion mastery. That's where what my current alchemist is. Now, recipe acquisition is of course extremely important, particularly early on, being first to market or being in the market when there's small amount of competition, just you and a few other crafters. You're going to be making a lot of gold per item. Now there's a bunch of them. Most of them are from the trainer, or about half of them, this list. And then you have the Northern Alchemy Research. This is new in Wrath. This is a 3-day cooldown, which will give you a new recipe every time. And this will give you one of these recipes, which you can only get from Alchemy Research. Now, one thing, you can learn transmutations from other transmutations, particularly these elemental transmutations. So once you get one of these, there's a little trick you can do. Once you get one of these eternal transmutes, start doing that one on cooldown, because then that's going to discover more of these elemental transmutes, which increases the chance that when you do your alchemy research, it's going to get you one of these, and that's going to be more efficient overall. And as we'll get to, some of these recipes are way more important than others. This is obviously means that there's going to be a large amount of randomness to early gold making, because the two big DPS potions, Potion of Speed, Potion of Wild Magic, are both from research. And as we know, DPS players by far the most popular role, which means that DPS consumables by far the most profitable ones on average. And the main potions for those are getting the recipe is something you cannot influence directly. Someone's gonna get lucky and get this on day one. Someone's gonna be unlucky and not get the recipe for Potion of Speed for a month. That's actually how it's gonna go down. Obviously, you're looking to hope that you get some of these recipes early. If you don't, then you might want to go back to Flask Mastery or Elixir Mastery. But these are going to be very, very popular. Of course, we don't know how the speedrun meta is going to be. Naxxrama's Phase 1 is not particularly hard, so we'll have to see. You just have to get lucky. There's a couple of recipes at the end. The protection potions, they drop from specific mobs in Ice Crown, and they're all bind and pickups. You have to go farm those. The frost protection is perhaps the most interesting one out of these. Now, as I said, the most notable recipes, the flasks, very important, particularly Endless Rage and Frostworm. The DPS flasks, once again, the most popular ones. Then we have health potions and stuff like that can be profitable, but often the health potions and mana potions drop too much from various farms that people are doing, so they're very cheap. The Indestructible potion, this one is going to be relevant for tanks, and some DPS like Death Knights are going to use this due to a talent called Bladed Armor that gives them essentially attack power from armor. So in some fights they'll be preferring this potion or using this for the pre-pot. So that's definitely a potion to pay attention to. But the big ones, Potion of Speed increases haste rating by 500 for 15 seconds. This is big, particularly for anyone who takes advantage of snapshotting. This is the potion to go to. There might be some casters that prefer Potion of Wild Magic with the 200 crit rating and 200 spell power for 15 seconds instead. But those are the main ones. Then you also have the Frost Protection Potion. It's possible that this becomes relevant for Sapphiron in Nax. And we might see some Shadow Protection on Lotheb. I don't think we needed to do that back in the day, but we might see it come through again. But that's about it for the recipes that are looking most relevant and the ones I'll be focusing on. The main thing you're doing is really just hoping that you get lucky and get some of these good potions early on, instead of getting elixirs that almost no one is going to buy, because flasks are just better because they give you more DPS stats. They persist through death, making them way, way, way more preferable. And the last thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is the general strategy for selling these items. And you're going to utilize what I call smart stacking. What I've been doing since Classic with Alchemy is I sell the potions and flasks in every stack size from 1 to 5. Because I'm not competing with other people posting in stacks of 1 with my stacks of 3. I'm specifically targeting people who want just 3 flasks that will cover them this raid night. And a lot of people, perhaps a surprising amount of people, are willing to pay a little bit extra per item to get exactly the amount they need in one click. This has been one of the most consistent effects with Alchemy. I've used this in every expansion where you have stackable items on the auction house. I did it in Classic, I did it in TBC, I did it in Legion, I did it in BFA before they reworked the auction house. I will guarantee you that this works. I'll be making my TSM setup and sharing that as soon as we have the pre-patch. I'll start working on TSM setups, and I'll be out for patrons and then eventually out for everyone. Yeah, that's really the approach that you should do. I can't make the TSM setup until we actually have the items available on the auction house, or at least in the database. But that's what we're going to be looking at. Yeah, this is going to be profitable. Alchemy is almost always profitable. Margins are often thin, but with the combination of smart stacking and choosing the right mastery, you can make a good profit per item, and the sell rate is just through the roof. So yeah, good luck.